Welcome back to the Grinder, folks. I'm here with the one and only Dolphin with 3 legs, James Chapman.
Dolphin with 3 legs. That's new.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of that big BDE.
Yes, that would be correct. So, I mean, you got to think once you step up and you've got that bottom line that you're having to drive the top line, at some point that BDE comes into play.
Got to, man. Sometimes you got to go out there a little bit on faith. If you plan to win, prepare to win, then you don't need to be scared.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
Yeah. Don't be scared because
actually it's okay if you're scared, but rely on what you've prepared to win, plan to win. Then and only then can you expect to win, but you're still going to get nervous.
That's it. One of the quotes that I have are not quotes, but just life lessons. Plan your work and work your plan.
I like that.
That's it, man. That's an old Harvey life lesson from you. But yeah, there's a few things in life when you start stepping up into the big leagues. See, I'm still in the amateur minor leagues here. I'm learning the game. I'm practicing, I'm playing, but definitely at some point you got to step up to those big leagues and you're going to get called up, and it's time to put on the big boy britches and hit some home runs,
Dude, I think we're all, if we're all not looking at how we're continuing to learn, you're screwed. So talking about learning, like, man, some of the most successful people I know just in life, they are curious, man. They're curious about what's going on. They want to learn something new. If something's brought up that most people in the room do know and they don't, they're the first person to be like, I don't know what that is. What is that? Explain that to me,
Mm-hmm.
Well, most people might think that's obvious. Like, dude, stay curious on that stuff, because you don't know ABC doesn't mean that you're not an absolute badass at XYZ.
And that's the truth. And it's all about one, going back to my talk with David, which is alignment, being in align with what you do and who you are. Also listening to this book, Who Not How.
Who Not How?
It's a good one, bro. David put me on it. Trying to look at things a little bit differently, more like a business mindset, business owner mindset, and not more of just getting a little bit different of a mindset into play. But the reason I bring that up, in the book, they talk about procrastination being a good thing.
It doesn't compute.
Okay.
Explain.
Understood. So being able to recognize when you are procrastinating, okay? If you are procrastinating on a task, then it is not aligned with what you enjoy. Okay?
Okay.
Then in the sense of business, if you are procrastinating on a single, let's say you have to go post to social media and you're procrastinating on posting on the social media. That means that you do not need to be doing that. You need to find someone who can and that should be doing that. So finding the who for the procrastination task. So go ahead.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get what they're saying, where you should be going with it, right? Well, then task that out. But, I don't know, man. Like, I got very limited context here, so I'm not calling anything out. But like, I sometimes think there is too much thought put on to what you enjoy. Some shit just needs to be done.
Okay, so not just enjoying, but the things you are good at, you will not procrastinate on. Obviously, there's a learning process. Obviously, there's certain things. But for me, when you get bogged down on like paperwork aspect of things and having to do that, dude, if I had to do that, it would take all day, because I'd find other things to do. Right? That's important for me to take that off my plate and pass it on to an admin. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same concept of the reason why you have people on the phones If you are not good at being on the phones, you hand that off, right? You hone down in your business or what in your life of what you are good at and what you align with, right? The moment you do that, you can get very, very good very quickly at that situation.
Okay.
And then everything else is just a support team behind what you do.
Yeah.
Not to take credit for the things that are not to take away from the things that you should be doing that you aren't doing, right? That whole mentality of having a little bit of discipline.
Yeah.
But you being aligned in what you do will help you exceed a lot further and a lot faster.
Look, yeah, the crossroads, right? What you're good at, what you enjoy. If you can find a crossroads there, boom, focus on that X and then scale it. I agree. I just think there's some minuscule things that like there's shit I do every day I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how much of that stuff are you procrastinating on?
Some of it.
Okay.
Some of it. There's just always something more important that gets in its way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do delegate things I can, right? But there's a balance too. I'm not just sitting here going, fuck it, I'm just going to hire I hate making my coffee, but I don't have somebody hired that brings me my coffee every day. You know what I mean? Like we had to wait. Addison had to wait for me to go grab my coffee to get back to this podcast.
Yeah, that is a true fact.
I didn't just look at somebody and do like this and say, give me a coffee.
But it would be nice to have that, right?
It would, but I'd rather have I guess my thought is where I'm at, I just would rather I don't want to pay for that. I don't see the value in paying for that.
Okay.
Maybe I need to work on my view of value.
Value of time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Certain things, dude. I'm starting to pick up on little things like that, and it's a cool little learning experience. But it does come down to if you're in your business and there's certain things you're procrastinating on, or you're working at a place and you're procrastinating on a certain thing, maybe that thing's not aligned with what you should be doing, right? And maybe being able to find a way to work up to a higher level. Maybe you enjoy working with people and not paper. You know, there's certain things, but it doesn't come without hard work, and it doesn't come out with without discipline and education and all of those things. But being able to recognize those things, and then, you know, that crossroads that you spoke about.
So I will, from my own experience, like I said, I've not read this book, so we're not talking about the book. We're just talking about this subject as a whole. Correct? Yes. All right. So let's make sure we're making that clear. But let's talk about the people who are one-person shop, two-person shop.
Yeah, we've been there.
Right. So my first hires were not what hiring for the stuff I didn't want to do. I hired for what I absolutely had to have because my budget was, it was shoestring, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't go, well, I didn't enjoy this. I was like, I have to hire for someone to take off this so I can go make more money. Mm-hmm. I can help more clients wanting to do that piece or not. Now, as I went along, I'm better to hire to what my company needs. But, it's not always, well, perfect example. Like I said, I don't have an assistant beside me every moment of every day, just like asking me, what she needs to do. Does she need to go pick up my lunch and shit? Like that shit just doesn't happen. So if I wanted to hire what I wanted, that would have been my first hire. That'd be my next hire. But it wasn't my first, and it's not about to be my next.
I don't know, man. That I've crossroads the admin role now that we have the paperwork situated. And it's just absolutely everything that needs to be done, that if I'm not, anything that keeps me in my office and keeps me in my zone and on the phone, everything else I don't give a shit about, to be honest. Like I'll forget to eat. And so my biggest thing is like, hey, look, 12 o'clock comes, go ahead and start planning, or at least, shoot me a notification like, hey, it's lunchtime, right? So I can unzone, pull out, go handle whatever I need to handle. And then if not, then she's going to go pick up food and bring it back. Like, but it keeps me here where my money is being made.
I'm with you. That's good, man. I definitely know I could do it. I could definitely do it different and probably hone that in better. My main concern right now where I'm at is going, where do I have a bottleneck, not so much for my clients, but for me and my team. So, you know, like, hey, if this person left or this person drops dead, what would that do to my company? Oh, it'd create a huge bottleneck because they're the one person that does this and nobody else does it. Oh, that's a problem. That's the shit that makes me worry. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I build that up more? Not just necessarily in hiring somebody, but create where the revenue needs that person. Yep. So it's like, okay, well, let's channel that marketing or channel that efforts to build that up so I have the client need. I can make the hire. There's a revenue there to cover it. And it diversifies that group. So I'm not hamstrung if that person wants to take a vacation for a damn week. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. If I got somebody leaving for a week, I'm like, well, who's going to handle this piece? That's insane. Mm-hmm. We don't need that, right?
Right.
Like, it should just flow into other parts of the team, and there's multiple people on it. And that's where I'm trying to get, because that's the shit that worries me.
Yeah. Being able to solve the problems inside of where you are.
Yeah.
Right. It's the little things that once you get those connected, a lot of people say, don't worry about the little things, just focus on big boulders. Right. But I think the little things make connections to big boulders.
Yeah. I think I'm not saying you should sweat the little things, but if you don't focus on the little things, like if you won't do the little things right, then why the hell are you going to do the big things right?
Yeah. Which goes back to,
because the place will literally fall apart if you didn't. Well, like, if you got that mindset and you got issues, I mean, there's only so much you can handle in a day, man. I mean, there's only so many things you can do. Yeah. But when that's the case, it's not whether I focus on the small or big. I just focus on the most urgent in the moment. Like, sometimes you got to forget about the long distance planning. You just got to get the next item on the list done. Just check the box, go to the next one, check the box. It's like, you know, I remember when I swam competitively, okay, like I was on a swim team and all that stuff. You know, one of the things we'd always tell someone, like, quit picking your head up. Just focus on your lane and swim. You'd have people, man, because you're swimming, right? You have no peripheral that much, you know, you're just swimming. You have people constantly looking over to see where the other person beside them was. Well, that person beside you ain't looking over. They're just digging harder, man. Like, that's what you need to do. You need to dig. When you hit the thing, you can look up then and see where you finished, right? But just plow away for a while and then glance around.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's how you get things done. You shouldn't be worried about competitors. You shouldn't be worried about what the competition's doing. It should be so focused on honing your craft, whether it's personal, right? Or if it's in business, focus on yourself, because all the other shit doesn't even matter outside of what you do and what your people do and the service you provide and the customer service you provide. That's what matters. You get so good at that, it doesn't matter what the competition's doing, because they're going to be so far behind you at that point because you've done all the work.
Yeah.
You've done all the digging, all the plowing away.
Yeah. Now, you know, with us, like, normally we're getting something, they're coming from a competitor's product, right?
For sure.
So we do try to stay up to speed on what the competitor's products do and that kind of stuff. So if clients call us for the issue, you know, like, I'm not going to say there's not at times we don't take advantage of an issue with a competitor. We would be crazy not to. Everyone does, right? So, but nothing in a malicious way. But also, sometimes somebody may think something's a big deal and it's really not. Like, man, you've been with this product 25 years. You're 85 years old. Like, you don't really need to put yourself in a new client position with that. Like, you've earned some, like, you think something's a big deal in the market. It's really not. So let's calm your fears to that. Honestly, unless you just can't stomach it, you need to stay with that. Don't come to us, you know? So, I mean, there's areas where we can actually help assist the customer in not making a bad decision because of the other product. So we do try to stay in tune with what our competitors, so to speak, are doing. But I'll tell you right now, it is not a focus of my day. It is not, it doesn't consume my time. It's just really in how we can assist. It doesn't really change what I'm trying to do here and what I'm trying to accomplish long term. So I'm with you. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of in the middle somewhere. I hear what you're saying. I like to know what's going on out there, but I don't live by that shit. You know what I mean? I live by what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And, not to go too far back on our conversation, but you mentioned the first hire you made was not the one that you wanted, but the one that you needed at the time. What was that first hire for you?
First hire was another agent.
Really?
Yeah. So first thing I hired was another agent because I needed more sales. We just didn't have enough revenue coming in. So I really would have much rather just hired, some service people so I could just go sling product and not have to touch or service anything. But I needed somebody who's producing income, helping me produce income. Because also service wasn't as heavy because we were such a small agency starting out, right? So now there is way more emphasis on service than sales, just because of the sheer size of the company. But yeah, man, I mean, it was just like, I need somebody to help me produce. I need somebody to pound the phones. I need to multiply myself as much as I can on helping potential customers.
For sure. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Which takes me back to my side of the field was that admin, because I saw that as a direct correlation of me being able to hone in what I need to do. Not having to deal with paperwork, man. You get me in front of people, you get me on the phones, you get me doing the activities that I need to do, and not having to deal with, whatever 30, 40, having to worry about getting things signed. I was able to kind of multiply what I needed to do. So I think it's very particular on what field you're in and where that first hire needs to come from.
Yeah. So like, I mean, but see, and that goes to show like everybody's field is going to be a little bit different, whatever your industry is. Right. So for me, it is volume, right? We need to help as many as people we can, but I guess it's more volume than necessarily one person can handle. Real estate's quite a bit different, right? Yeah. Like, you need X amount of transactions a year. Like when you first started, what was a good number for a number of sales in a year?
For me?
Or just like in general for the industry, if you had somebody come in and said, hey, I'm about to bootstrap, I'm going to go out on my own. It's, I'm going to have one, was it ISS? Is that what you call it? ISA. Like what would you say? Hey, dude, this is how many sales you need this year.
Okay. I would say 10. That puts you around 30,000 a year.
Okay. So 10. So yours is 10. If when I was starting out, we needed to do 10 like a week. You see what I'm saying? Because the payoff, the sales cycle, everything's so much shorter, right? Payoff so much less. Like it's like, okay, we need 10 a week. Every freaking week. So, it's different.
Yeah.
You needed more. Yeah, I can see that. Like, even though that was conducive to what you wanted, but you really needed that back end paperwork support.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I mean, imagine like somebody new going and finding 10 deals in a year is a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think most agents probably, they do 5 or 6 deals a year.
Yeah. So that's hustling, trying to get out there, man, so yeah, just different industries. So y'all remember that as we're talking through this. And I think that's one of the great things is our industries, even though they're both very much sales oriented industries, are quite a bit different.
Yeah. They're very different. And in the sense of like, everybody has to have insurance, period. Like you have to have car insurance. You have to have home insurance. Those are pretty mandatory situations, right?
Yeah.
With a home, you can go and rent somewhere. And that doesn't fall in our field
Yeah.
for where we're at currently. And so I think that's a big thing. And then not everybody wants to sell their home. Not everybody wants to buy a home. Like there's so many things you have to talk to so many people to get that one prospect in. If you're not working that, your sphere of influence and you're working outside leads, dude, you gotta, we probably make 700 calls a day.
Yeah.
On one guy.
Yeah. That's intense.
But you think if, being able to say, okay, well, we take our 700 calls a day, you transfer that into another field, that's a lot. It's a lot different.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's something that we, I don't know, I'm kind of taking this elsewhere, but, Brandon, who used to work for me, he went from here making, I think his average phone call ratio was like 1,200 calls a day. He went from here to Ford, right? Working as like a internal sales for them. And he's like, man, this shit's so easy. He's like, all I got to do is make 300 calls a day. And I was like, but you understand that you worked at such a high level that you were able to transfer everything over. So you should have no problem competing and making that top tier. No problem. But yeah, dude, it's a cool, go ahead.
That's kind of thing. I mean, like for example, you've helped me on all my real estate transactions.
Yep.
Except for when I bought my first home.
I was in real estate though.
Yeah, you were freaking, how old were you in 2007?
Shit, I was in high school.
Okay, so you're still in high school when I bought my first house. But I'm 38. I've only bought 2 homes. So like this house, I plan to stay in until my kid's grown, right? So unless I'm buying some kind of investment or something for the business, you know what I mean? I don't have a real estate need.
Yeah.
But sounds like I need to get to work. Why are you not pushing me more?
Look,
you need to be pushing me more, dude.
Look, I'm the kind of sales guy that's not really the sales guy. I build relationships. I'm a relationship type of guy. It's one of those things that immediately I can have a relationship with you and you don't even know it. It's that quick. It's that quick, man.
Yeah.
So I let you do all the work. I'm just here to assist and guide. I'm all right. I want you to think about this. When it comes to Addison Corbin, I'm the bumpers when we're bowling. I'm keeping this in line.
I got you. You just paint the stripes on the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna get us. I'm gonna get us where we're going. You follow me. We're gonna get there. You feel safe, secure, comfortable.
Little bird in the tree in the nest.
Yeah, I'm here to make sure your dreams come to fruition, as they say, and just keep it in between the lines. That's what I'm here for. Everything else, we're gonna make it happen. So, saying that to take it in like this. I'll push you if you want to be pushed. But all day, baby, we're going to get there.
I like it.
You're never going to find another like me.
Hey, man, it's been good info.
Yeah, I like this. Applicable information.
Yeah. So I think you need to take some of the things Addison said, some of the things I've said, and marry it together and use it. So what is that? Addison's talk about, hey, what are you weak at? What are you procrastinating on? What are you hesitating on? Like maybe you need to think about how a new hire could help you there. I'm telling you to also mainly just plot out your new hire. Like if you're a one-person shop, there's caveats to this. I know this, all right, but for majority, it's about scale at some level. If you're a one-person shop, you got a job. And you have all the headaches as an owner. You need to be thinking about what can I scale to have people help me? And if your immediate response is, I don't want to get big. I don't want the hassle. But you already have all the hassle. You have all the headache. You have to do everything that is required to run the company. You have zero assistance.
That's it.
So I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying take some time and just think on it. Confirm that your feelings, what you feel in your gut is right.
Yeah.
Confirm if there is another way. Continue to stay curious, continue to learn, continue to figure this stuff out. Because that's really what it's about.
And there's certain things like if you aren't ready to make a huge hire, there's websites like Fiverr, Fivver, I want to say, Fiverr.com, where you can go there, type in what you need, whether it's, a internal salesperson, whether it's an admin, whether it's a graphics designer, whether it's whatever you need, you can go on there, and there are people who are able to do those tasks at a high level, and you can hire them per transaction or per situation or per item. There's so many ways that you can go there and just find ways to do that more contract versus employed.
Yeah.
And you still get some of the benefits of being able to bring on a contractor because it's all write off. But
yeah, and man, you can do it super cheap, or even if it's the thing that you hate doing, but it's like a project. Man, I wanted to rebuild like my sales reporting, and Excel can do some pretty amazing thing. I just wanted a good tool for my agents where it helped give them some additional tracking. And like I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't want to spend a week learning that level of Excel.
Mhm.
I know not just enough to be pretty dangerous with it. I couldn't do all that stuff. Man, I contracted it out, went and made money the rest of the week, paid $60 and got what I needed. You know what I mean?
That's it, man. And just being able to understand there's a lot of options out there for contract work that will allow you to continue doing what you need to do, but hire out that one specific job.
Yeah.
So, if you're not at that first hire yet, look at different options.
Yeah.
Because that's a good way to find a trusted source and be able to get a solid product out of it if you need it.
Yeah.
With that being said, folks, do not forget to go check out our sponsors, Jocko Fuel and Origin USA, to go get you some of that good stuff, whether it's energy drinks or some American-made products, hats, boots, pants, everything to make you look nice and manly or unmanly. Again,
nice.
At checkout, put in code GRIND10. That's GRIND10. With that being said, James always does the pleasure.
Grinder out.